Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And it is time to pull this 1985 Honda Big Red from the crypt it's been sitting in. We've already revived it somewhat from its mouse dropping induced seizure. Mice were climbing in through that vent, and that vent going in, they nested in the airbox, and the fumes from their droppings caused corrosion, and they made the engine seize. They also made the intake valve stick a little bit, so it wasn't sealing all the way, and I didn't have enough compression to start it. We managed to reverse that. We managed to get the engine started, and now it's time to bring this thing back to life. I have the cart that I used to pull around on with it. I just put tires on that, so that's moving again, and now it's time to make this thing rideable. Stay tuned. Here it is in the garage, and by the way, this thing rolls on flat tires as good as a huge bag of potatoes. Anyway, first thing I got to do is get this back to where I had it before we stopped working on it a few weeks ago. So the carb's been rebuilt. I got it covered so a mouse didn't move into the engine again. You can see the tape over it, Gorilla Tape. But I put this tiny little battery in there, and that's not enough to start it anywhere near reliably. So what I did is, I happen to like these batteries, and I bought a lot from this guy. I think two of them are 60 bucks, $59.95. They come postage prepaid, and he gets them to you really quick. So we're gonna smash that 10 amp hour right in there and fire it up, and from there we'll keep going. So hopefully this thing is back where we left it. Batteries in, I put gas into the carburetor, and I put it in there, and I'm watching, and it's not, the level is not going down, which means the float isn't leaking by. So hopefully I just turn the key, and by the way, there's a cold start. Right. Let's see what she does. Now you can hear a little valve noise, and that's probably true. Remember, I loosened those up, but other than that valve noise, she really sounds pretty good. So I'm just going to let it idle away its gas, and see you in a few moments. Before I put it all back together again, you know, all this stuff back in, the air cleaner and all, I checked the lights and they're not working, and this thing here is kind of mounted to where the battery goes right there. And if you look on the side of it, hopefully you guys can see it, it says fuse right there. And I think that's what's wrong with it. So I'm just going to pop this open, check the fuse out, because I would like to get this thing fully functional, as in lights and everything else. Once I kind of get it so that it's drivable a little bit, I'm going to bring it down to the lower driveway and give it a little pressure wash, or throw it in the back of the truck, take it to the car wash and give it a pressure wash, because I'd like to get this thing back to its happy state. So the fuse checks out good, both visually, and I put the meter on it. So I'm going to seal this back up. And if you guys remember, I was having some trouble with the switch. When I first turned it on, I couldn't get any lights, as in dashboard lights, and I kind of fumbled with it, and the neutral light came on. I'm wondering if that's the same thing, because from the fuse it goes up to here, right, and for whatever reason when you turn it on, it might not it might not be sending the power from here to there, though I'm pretty sure when it powers up these lights it also powers up the rest of it, but we'll fumble with it. If it's not that, it could be the switch has gone bad. I don't think the lights are dead, because it would have to be 4 dead light bulbs, high and low here, and the back lights, and none of them are coming on at all. So I think it's an open somewhere between here and the other side, here and coming back on ground. So it turns out it was a switch problem. Back. There you go. High and low. And I think you guys can see that's on. This one too. So we got lights. Okay, now it's time to fix the mouse trouble. This thing connects via an adapter to an air box here, and the air box gets its air through the frame, right? So you got the up tube, and in here, and that side, you can see my finger wiggling, that's not a mouse, and it's got another one on this side, right? That this is how the bike puts air back down the tube, and the mice walked right in, came down, and nested in the box, and then the ammonia from their droppings caused my intake valve to get sticky and my cylinder to seize. So I have to come up with something to screen these off to keep the mice the heck out of there and still allow enough air so the engine could breathe. Obviously I gotta clean that up too. I don't want to inhale that nastiness into the engine. So let's see what I come up with. So this is what I came up with for the mice. It's kind of this grill stuff. A friend of mine's moving and he gave me those rolls. And what I did is I cut a little grate, and you can see how it goes over the hole in here. Those are self-tapping screws, but I still drilled it out. There's another one there. So I think that'll slow them down. I mean, it's a lot better than, you know, they could go right, see the dark part right in there beyond my finger is where the hole leads right down the frame. So I think, once again, I think it'll slow them down. So I'm going to install the other one on the other side. It also won't interfere with airflow. I think this will work. Okay, time to go tire shopping. Obviously, this one's not coming back. It's done. For folks who've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I keep various little hoards of things. And it looks like these tires right here will fit. I don't think they're quite the right size. No, they are the right size, 25, 12, 9. So, and they look like the right rims. Even if they don't have air in them, I don't think they go flat. So, let's go with these. So, on the big red, we got the mouse filters installed, done. We wiped it all down. I kind of used WD-40 on a rag. We cleaned up the air box. We got the air filter installed, and I can't put this second hose in until after I get this gas line situation straightened out, and I think I'm going to have to change that. I bought a new valve and filter for the gas tank, and we're just putting it together. It's kind of like one piece at a time. I checked it. The battery, you know, obviously held last night. I had that little battery in here that was kind of weak, and I deliberately left that hooked up for the last couple weeks to see if it died off, and it held the little weak charge it had, so the bike isn't draining anything. And now it's just a matter of getting a gas line run, getting the various hoses hooked up, the cover back on, gas tank in place, put some gas in it, double check the oil, pop the seat on it, and I think it's getting real close to to taking its first ride, so stay tuned. So here we have it. A couple of 3 weeks ago, this thing was more or less an abandoned piece of junk. And now look at it, almost mint. Still needs to be cleaned up a little bit more, but look at this thing. It is absolutely beautiful. I took the cover off the Big Red I just recently bought and put that on there. I do have one for the other side somewhere. Underneath the seat, there's still the original tool kit. I did remember where this came from. I was doing a lot of business with this kid whose father had it, and there was a divorce situation going on, and I bought it from him. And back in the day, I think it cost me $5.50, and I had this at the old house. So I probably bought it in the early 90s. I've had it, give or take, 25 years. The last 10 or 15 of them, it's more or less been abandoned. But it's back. Once again, I have the other cover downstairs. Once that's on there, look at this thing. It's all set up and ready to go. So, would anybody like a ride? This is the way I like, where I like to get my machines. Turn it on, right? Turn it on. Oops, I put it in first. And easy. Reverse. Might be a little wind noise, sorry about that. Third. If anybody's ridden a Big Red, you know that they're kind of geared a little low. Tell you, riding this thing feels great. I was on the front. I wasn't pushing it too hard, but I was doing a little drifting with it. It was great. It was like reconnecting with an old friend. Now I have to get its sister out of the shed. And make sure it's doing okay. Make sure there are no mice living in that air cleaner. And once again, bang, done. How is that? I'm very, very pleased with this project, and I want to thank you all for coming along with me to do it. I rarely ever finish anything, so I feel good that I actually managed to finish this about completely. It does need a pressure washing, but after that, she should be all good. I checked the oil again. It's really clean. I must have changed it just before I put it up. It doesn't even look like it has an hour on it, so I'm not quite sure what I was up to with that. I probably changed it because I had been meaning to use it, then didn't do anything. Would never hurts to change the engine a little more frequently. When I put the gas in it, I mixed preservative in it. I like the marine kind of preservative. Because I figure marine use will see even more water. Then I also dosed it with seafoam. So it's got a tank of preserved gas and seafoam gas in it. It's ready to go. It's completely rideable. I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out there and enjoy all your days. Keep the comments coming. I love reading them, and when I get a few minutes, I try to answer them. So please stay tuned. Bye now.